welcome to Cracking Crime. I'm your host, Jamie Tilson.
Your co-host, Les Seth Tilson.
I'm the bonus guy.
You're the bonus guy.
Hells yes.
What's better than 2 testicles? 3. Sorry, Grandma.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in.
Actually, that sounds awful. Like 3 testicles? Like then you got to worry about that many more spermies, and then you ever been hitting them in the nuts? Now you got 3 of them?
Right. No, that sounds awful.
Yeah, anyway, moving on. That's weird.
Way too many testicles.
Way too many. That'd be nice if we just had one, Girls only have 1 bean. Sorry, I listened to that Rodney Carrington, Fliggin' Your Bean song today. Fliggy, 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 fliggy.
Seth might have had 1 too many already.
It's my 3rd. So yeah.
It's not bad.
1 or
All right.
2 too many.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Excited to be back. Always excited for a new episode. Go check us out. Facebook, Twitter. What's some of the other sites out there? Social media.
Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah, all of those. All of those we have. So if you...
MySpace.
I've got... all 3 of us have a MySpace. Jacob, I created a MySpace for you.
What? I gotta get this MySpace app?
Yeah. Oh, it's...
Under the name McLovin.
Spend so much time on the MySpace page. MySpace at Crackin' Crime. Everything else at Crackin' Crime. Go check us out. We do hilarious videos.
All the time.
All the time. I mean, it's pretty constant. I mean, I'm surprised. That's like all that you'll find on TikTok.
Videos are good.
Yeah.
Good all the time.
All the time. That's what I just did one of the UFC fight of the crazy minute knockout, submission.
Of John Jones?
John Jones.
Epic. He is the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, it was such a good fight.
And he says I like that the first thing he did is say, I want to fight Stipe, considered the greatest heavyweight of all time. Great. And I think Stipe is going to give him a run for his money. Stipe is a fantastic heavyweight.
Yeah.
I think it'd be an interesting fight.
I do too.
He's also
I'm
a
already
firefighter. You know that?
What?
He's also a firefighter. He's an active firefighter.
I did not know.
When he goes to fight and stuff, he takes a leave of absence from firefighting.
Well, I'm sure he would have to. He probably couldn't be on active duty whilst in the ring.
He just kind of...
So it's just he just takes vacation days. It's I just need a week off for training.
I'm sure. I don't know. You're the cop, first responders.
Well, that's
cops,
what I would
police,
have to do. I would have to be
cops, police, troops, libtards out there going. We're not going political, but they're out there fighting for trees.
I don't even know what you're saying.
Save the paper.
I don't know where you're at. I'd love to jump in, but I don't even know where you are right now.
I don't even know where I'm at, so don't jump in. Then we'll both be lost. Somebody's got to get us home. Sorry, moving on.
Moving on.
Like I said, Seth had 1 too many.
Really not. I tried to make a joke work, and there wasn't nothing there.
There wasn't a joke to be found.
I swing till my arms are too tired to pick
You know
up.
what? You know what I could do? I could go ahead and edit all that out.
Nah, we don't.
I'm not gonna do it.
We're not nosy beans.
No, we'll just keep going. So basically, the premise, if you haven't gotten it by now, we're episode 20 something.
411 today.
Yeah. If you haven't figured out by now, we don't really edit. This is just you guys listening to us, have some fun, tell some stories to each other, and most of the time Seth has no idea what we're talking about or why.
Shocks me with it.
I do. Yes.
Now that I think about it, this is my 5th this time being on here with both of you.
Yeah, we've been doing this quite a bit.
It's your 5th time with both? I thought this was the second
it's
time that you've been on here with both of us.
I think it's 3rd.
Yeah, this is my second threesome. I've only had. Oddly enough, they're both all male.
Seth doesn't know what he's talking about at this point.
Sure do.
Sure do. Sure do.
Oh, dude. Anyway, I'd like to thank our patrons.
Oh, Patreon.
Patreon.
Go check us
Garcia,
out.
Habiba.
If
I can't.
you tell us on delay, get on with it.
I can't roll my R's.
I get it.
My face getting red. Pasty white as it gets.
All right, so if you want to help us out, grow our studio a little bit, maybe get Seth a chair that doesn't creakle and crackle the whole time, then...
That was 100% Justin's mouth.
Then go check us out on Patreon. Become a Patreon. Get some bonus content.
Yeah, what's $10 a month?
I know. Or 3. You could do 3.
4.5 McChickens with tax. I mean, come on,
Right.
man.
I know.
I'll buy you the McChickens. I don't know. I've been crawling in a crawl space for 8 hours at a time, 3 days in a row. I'm pretty exhausted. I would like to apologize to not only Grandma, but everyone for what's about to happen.
That's why I'm here.
That's
just for the
why
extra laughs.
we're all here.
We're all here.
That's why you're listening. You're listening because you want to have a little fun. And it's so fun to laugh at Seth.
Yeah, let's have a giggle at my expense.
Yeah, I'm in.
Let's do
All
it.
right. So,
Patrons. We're still talking about
Patreons.
them.
We are. I haven't moved on. No, I'm still there.
Grandmama. I'd like to thank her for being a patron.
Yes. Thank you, Grandmama, for being a patron. Mr. Garcia, Mr. Sexy Mexi, down in Texas.
It's a good
Yeah,
state.
buddy.
I was born there. It's a good state.
It is a
place
good
to be
state.
from.
I lived there for a little while. I'm more cowboy than
I
you.
was almost born there.
You were not almost born there. You were
know,
like
you
6
weren't there.
months
You don't
old.
know. You don't know what he was thinking about. He was considered it. He was in there like, maybe I should come
Maybe.
out now.
Yeah, I was going through my options there.
You decided, Mom and Dad haven't even talked about Texas at this point.
You know what the deal was? Sam, you offered to have Taco Bell. And Sam was like, no, I want Wendy's. And he was like, that's it. I'm packing up my intestines and I'm getting out of here. I ain't going to keep living like this. It's dark.
That does sound pretty accurate. Yeah. I love me some Taco Bell.
I was an independent child.
I love Taco Bell. Taco Bell's...
It's the shit.
God gave us a heartbeat, air, and T-Bell.
That's right.
In that order.
Yeah. Authentic Mexican food.
Authentic
Oh,
Mexican.
so good.
Did you know
It is
that
as
the
Mexico-ish as it gets.
It is.
Too.
Do you know the
100%.
founder of
Yeah.
Taco Bell?
Yeah, his name was Jesus. Glory to him.
All right. Well, the real creator's name was Glenn Bell.
Oh,
I really
wow.
do. I think you should be on here with us more because he does have a lot of info.
I
Did you
know.
give him a heads up that this is what it was going to be about? Is that how he knows, or is that just general information for you?
This is general.
I like it. That's awesome. I do that same stuff too, where I've always like if I find something interesting or I think about something, I just start googling the crap out of it and reading random information.
That's what
So
it
I
does.
like that.
I
We
know.
have that in common.
I'll think of something and then I'll instantly Google search it. My phone will be in my hand instantly when I'm
That's
thinking
good.
about something.
Knowledge is power.
See, when I was his age, I'm going to go ahead and go back a couple of years. Not many, but a few.
Back in 1990.
When I would...
42, right after the war.
When I would go have Taco Bell, and I'd be like, you know, I love this place. I wonder...
What year did you say?
So that was full shit. We're moving on.
We're moving on. We've done moved on.
1942. Is that what you said?
Yes.
1945.
You're getting too technical now. I was literally just making things
World
up.
War II.
He kind of gets some of that from me, so...
Talking about the Spanish War.
That one was quietly going on for a lot longer.
Brush up on your Brazilian wars. Are you getting my hints yet? It's literally nothing but doo-doo coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. So, what I'm saying is back in my day when I wanted to know something, we had to go to an encyclopedia. We had to go to a book.
It's located in a place called a library.
Right. A library? I was like, whoa.
Now you're saying it like I say it, library.
A library.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I'm
definitely-
leaving out an R.
There's definitely more R's in there.
There's definitely more R's in there.
One,
Yeah.
one more.
And I don't remember if it's Lurberry. Library.
Moving on.
Library.
Your face is getting red.
Is it? But anyway, today
Library.
where
Let's
people
do
just
this.
have information, at least you're retaining some. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have to Google the owner of Taco Bell.
We are
Founder.
Again.
Founder.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Was the founder.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
He is actually the owner of the one we go to, though.
Right. Yeah.
Lived there for 23 years. 3 months, 2 weeks. What's next?
Anyway, we're still talking Patreon. Our patrons, thank you so much to all of our patrons out there. One that we haven't mentioned yet is Phelps Harvest. Check out Phelps Harvest on Facebook.
CBD.
CBD.
I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta give it to the guy. $10 a month for good advertising for the best podcast in the world. He's ahead of the curve.
We are. I've been meaning to throw out there. I've been in talks. This is kind of a big. This is telling you guys too. I've been in talks with some managers. We're gonna try to get some special guests.
Especially the founder of
Some
Tennessee
people.
Customs.
So people call them in. Yeah. So
Nice.
I'm
I like
pretty excited. So we're hoping to have. Kevin Hart's one name that I've been kicking around. I've been talking with a bunch of
He's
people.
always leaving me voicemails, and
I know.
he's a good guy, but
Didn't
I
you-
know his heart means well, but
Right.
Wait,
I mean,
didn't-
he's
Was
pretty
it Ben
comical,
that met him?
What's that?
Wasn't it Ben that
no,
met him?
we actually met him. He asked to hang out, and we were gonna tell him that the bus was full, but he could see behind us, and he could see the open seats, so we couldn't lie to him, and we had to let him on, even though we really didn't want to. You know.
Right. And then he was cracking a little bit too many jokes and stuff, but
Yeah.
then he wanted to come on the podcast, and we've been kicking it around, but I don't know yet.
C-list celebrities they're always trying to get your business. You know?
I know. So we've been entertaining letting Kevin Hart come on,
Yeah.
but right now we're
Sorry for that in advance.
right. So we'll have to see.
Was that your fourth one?
That's
Yeah.
easily
it is.
2. Yeah,
Easily 4.
So anyway, just in case you guys do happen to hear him pop on, or like we call him or something, we've also been talking funny man Mike Garcia. Yeah, we're gonna try to.
That one I'm excited about.
I know.
Right, now you're talking big names.
Way better.
The
Yeah,
big names.
and I mean, no offense to Kevin Hart, because he's good,
He's
but
all right, yeah.
yeah, but I don't know. We're gonna have some fun with Mike Garcia.
We're actually
That one
probably
I've
gonna
been-
have to put something in the description being like, "No offense, Kevin Hart."
Why would I do that? I've said it. Yeah. So anyway, be on the edge of your seat waiting, because we are gonna have some Mike Garcia on here with us one of these days. It's gonna be pretty fun.
Mexi.
Sexy Mexi. Yeah, that is his stage name.
Arriba! Sorry.
What?
I'm trying to...
He's still trying your
I
R's.
can't,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah.
going well. All right.
Wait, so what are we talking about today? Let's talk about
Okay.
Strangler?
So going along with Glenn Bell, I
Louis
wanted
Wallace.
to talk about actually his grandfather, Alexander.
No. One of us has to have their hands on the wheel here, otherwise we're going to go off the high.
The wheels just come off. All right. See, this is where Kevin Hart can learn some stuff from us. All right. Okay, so today we are talking about Henry Louis Wallace. Yes,
He's got 3 names.
he does have 3 names. A lot of
Definitely
us-
super villain.
super villain because he goes by 3. He absolutely is a super villain. He's still alive and kicking. Born, hang on, Jacob's getting all crazy over here. November 4th,
You listen.
1965.
You don't want to read the laptop. It's best to catch the information that's given to you and then
Right.
react solely from the chesticles.
Right. This is how. So I get a read. Okay, I'll read from the laptop.
Sometimes he'll just stop reading completely and start giving you information he feels would fit better. There.
Right, and I've got a feeling I'm going to do that quite a little bit today.
Me too.
But I want you to hear it, and I want your guys' reactions to the information that I'm giving you.
Honest, unbiased.
Absolutely. Whatever you say gets caught right here in this microphone. All right?
It's permanent because we don't edit.
Yeah, I know.
What you
Yeah, so
say
pay attention.
is
Yeah.
out there.
Definitely think about what you're
Yeah.
saying. All right. You don't want to just throw stuff out there because
Then apologize.
you don't have the patience to edit it.
No, you don't just throw something out there and then apologize for it afterwards.
Arriba.
Arriba.
So that's kind of what
Sorry,
we're going
Grandma.
for.
You're getting the hang of it. He knows what's going on here.
And we are kind of known like around the world now. We are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've had at least
France,
one or two listens.
Sweden, Switzerland?
Yeah. At least one or two listens over there.
Okay, so Africa is a continent, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's that other place there that's called South Africa. Completely different continent. Same name.
What are you talking about? All right.
Moving on.
We are talking Henry Louis Wallace.
What did he do? Why are we talking about him?
Okay. So the main reason we brought him up today is because he disgraced the wonderful name of Taco Bell. And
We were right.
they were calling him the Taco Bell Strangler.
I'll be damned. It's actually about Taco Bell.
Yeah. It's what do you think? That was Coinky Dinky or what?
The only thing I want to strangle at Taco Bell is my penis because I'm excited. Sorry, Grandma. You say Taco Bell and I get to itching for my crotch. Let me at it. Let me at it.
I have
Why is this happening?
no idea why you think that.
Oh, God, I'm just saying. You get
Remember,
talking
no
about
editing.
talking about a bean burrito, I get all antsy in the pantsy.
We get that 5-layer burrito. Reason 5 layers.
Quesadilla's so good, I get hard into wood. Oh, child like it. Child so cold.
Oh my God! All right.
Let's go to Taco Bell after this. Yeah, I'm gonna need some tissue. Not because I'm crying.
Oh my God!
No, we're gonna start get. I'm done. All right, we gotta move on. I'm sorry.
We gotta move on.
The Taco Bell Strangler.
Oh my gosh!
We were right though. We were not. Were we?
Yeah, we were right.
Yeah, I told you we were talking about Taco Bell Strangler. Neither one of them believed me that it was even a thing, and I feel bad for the victims because you guys didn't know nothing about it.
They did have a good last meal, though.
Yeah, you're right there.
I mean,
Yeah.
if that was one way I was gonna go, I'd
Can
go
we
eating some T-bell and strangling
We
my
gotta
pig.
make it.
Let's go. Moving on.
So early life, I
don't care about this.
I know. I'm
Reach
not going to
Taco
talk
Bell.
about it. Yeah, I'm not talking about it.
Move on.
He was born in South Carolina. That comes up, and so we'll talk about that. He was also in the military. Yeah, with a disgrace to the military. I feel bad for the military that they employed him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy goes on to start murdering people. Again, I told you he's born in 1965. He starts murdering people in 1990. So it's only a 4-year stretch where he breaks, he's murdering, and then he goes.
How old was he at that time? Does it say, or do you know?
Well, it doesn't say, but I can do basic math, and that would be about 25 years.
Yeah, give or take a couple, like
Yeah.
30 or so.
Yeah, give or take a couple of months. Yeah, right around 25. Yeah.
Here we go.
So then when he's in his 30s, he's sentenced to, death. Yeah, he's still alive and kicking, though. I said that at the beginning. The
Still
Taco
alive.
Bell Strangler is still out there.
In prison, I presume.
In prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just not. They're not carrying out his sentence yet.
He's been around for
Could
far
be
too
choking
long.
on some Taco Bell chicken, but now he's just choking his own chicken. I like to choke my chicken to Taco Bell chicken. God damn it, I'm sorry, Grandma. That was bad. I'm tired. I'm out of it.
No
So,
editing, says no.
he starts getting in trouble up in Washington. I said he was in the military for a little while, so he did move around. He starts getting in some trouble.
Honorable discharge, or he leaves.
No, it was honorable.
Okay, so
yeah.
he leaves there good terms. So
yeah.
he's an upstanding young man. Goes to the army, does his term or service, whatever.
Yep, does his service.
Leaves there. Okay.
Yep. He it says that he attends high school. He's elected to the student council. He's a cheerleader. Graduates in '83.
Right? Was he a cheerleader?
It says he was. I don't have any actual proof of that. He becomes a DJ for a local radio station in Barnwell. Several colleges before he joins the Navy in '85. He marries his high school sweetheart, Moretta Brabham, in '87. And then he was honorably discharged from the Navy in '88. So he does 3 years in the Navy.
Okay.
They move up to Washington. This is where he starts to unravel. Okay? So apparently during his time in the Navy, he begins to use drugs, including crack cocaine.
Nobody wants you to put your hand down your pants yet, Seth.
I was grabbing my chapstick. And for one, who goes straight to crack? You know?
I know this. Apparently, like Henry.
Would you like a beer? No, but I'll have one of those crack rocks over there.
Yeah. It seems like he just kind of jumps right into everything, both feet. He's like, you know what? I've never done anything. I think I'm gonna try crack.
I think I'll have a chalupa, 2 soft tacos, and a couple crack rocks.
Pretty much.
Goes great with Baja Blast. It really does.
So then he ends up getting in trouble for some warrants come down for burglaries for him in Seattle. So now he's doing drugs. He's breaking into places and stealing stuff. So in January of '88, he's arrested for breaking into a hardware store. Yeah, he pleads guilty. He gets sentenced to 2 years of supervised probation. He did not show up to most of the meetings that are mandatory. So he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. He still successfully completes probation. They're like upstanding, very good young man.
Weird. It don't work that way no more.
Yeah,
They need a bounty hunter for him.
I know.
I order you to go to these classes. Oh, you're not going to go? All right. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, well then I guess we have nothing left to do other than to release you from probation. So,
Yeah.
good job, sir. Yeah.
Handle your crack responsibly from now on.
Well, it's not
This is
very
America,
long.
for God's sakes.
So he ends up in 1990 murdering Tashonda Bethia, and I'm sorry about the names. I don't know if I'm going to get them, pronounce them all right. But he dumps her body in a lake in his hometown. It was not until weeks later.
Right. We're still in Washington, right?
Well, so I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe we're still in Washington, and this is where he commits his first murder. Okay, so he's questioned by the police regarding her disappearance and death, but he's never formally charged.
Says he's just such a good guy and he's outstanding in everything he does.
I know. So he's also questioned in connection with an attempted rape of a 16-year-old girl in Barnwell. But he's never charged with that either. So by this time, his marriage is starting to fall apart. I don't understand why.
I don't get it.
No.
Through thick and thin.
Right. I mean, I don't get it. Sounds like he was doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Being a husband. Yeah. Raping other girls and killing girls, doing drugs, breaking into a bunch of stuff. I mean, yeah. Sounds like he's around all the time.
Taco Bell, he just gets it for himself, apparently. Fuck.
Right. Well, at this point, he hadn't brought Taco Bell into it. You know what I mean? So, he hadn't figured out who he is as, a serial killer at this point.
Yeah,
At this point, he's just kind of, high on all these drugs, and he's just doing everything all willy-nilly. Okay? In 1991, he breaks into his old high school and the radio station where he once worked, steals all the video and recording equipment, and was then caught trying to pawn them. Yeah.
Yeah, it usually doesn't work out.
So he decides, screw
podcast
this.
didn't work.
I'm in South Carolina. my hometown, right? I had moved back home. This isn't working. I'm out, right? So it's 91. He moves to Charlotte, North Carolina. Completely different state. He's good. Okay? So he finds jobs at fast food restaurants. So this is where we're starting to...
Sorry if you're hearing dogs yelping in the background. There's a young female puppy and a young horny male puppy out there. We're talking about T-Bell, so there's no telling what's going to happen. And we are not going to edit it out.
We're not. No, they're just... Yeah.
All right. Sorry to interrupt you. Continue.
No, that's all right.
I keep hearing it in the background now. I'm like, yeah, it's getting hot out there. Some stuff is going on.
So at this point, he's only killed Tashonda in 1990 that we know of at this point. And nobody knew of at that point. They didn't know that he was associated. But he eventually breaks and he tells everybody. But then he also... and I don't know how he's never charged with the attempted rape of this 16-year-old girl. That blows my mind.
Should not go. Yeah.
Right.
Blows
No,
my
that
mind.
he absolutely should have been in prison for that.
Yeah. The rest of his life.
This guy doing
Now we're
crack.
1992.
Hey,
What?
This guy doing crack. He was near the situation.
Right.
Nah, good guy.
Yeah, good guy.
Couldn't be him.
Yeah.
Smoking his crack. It's fine.
So now he picks up Sharon Nance. She's a convicted drug dealer and a prostitute. When she demands payment for her services, Wallace beats her to death, then drops her body by the railroad tracks. She's found a few days later. He then strangles Carolyn Love at her apartment, dumps her body in a wooded area. After he killed her, he and her sisters file a missing persons report at the police station. It would be almost 2 years before her body was discovered in a wooded area in Charlotte. He murdered Shauna Hawk after visiting her at her home.
So now he's up to 3?
This is
4?
like 5.
Oh, wow. We really jumped up there.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just like this paragraph is just like, killed her, killed her, killed her, killed her, killed her.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, Shauna Hawk, and this is, I don't know if it'll go into this, but I had read this earlier, so we'll just say it now. So Shauna Hawk was the roommate of his girlfriend at the time. So I'll try to find this in the reading.
I thought he was married. Oh, wait,
No, yeah, they got a divorce.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is jumping through everything really quick, what I'm reading now. But they end up, after the first murder, he moves on his own. So he's not married anymore. They break up. He's single now. So now he's dating this gal, and he waits until she's at work, and then he goes to the apartment where he then murders her roommate, which I believe is Shauna Hawk, and then takes the body and then dumps her somewhere else, goes back over to his girlfriend's apartment when they're trying to find her, and he helps them look, and then he later attends her funeral.
Jeez.
He's the most emotional person at the funeral.
Yeah, he probably was. I mean, he also visited the bodies. I mean, if you know anything about serial killers, or if you've ever watched any of the movies about people who interview them, stuff like that, it's really interesting because a lot of them then go back to the scene of the crime, or they go back to where they dumped the bodies. They put themselves in the victims' families' lives to be, like they get to relive this murder.
Yeah, and it's almost like they're either it's their way of coping with it and finding a way to, what's the word I'm looking for, justify their own crimes, or either that or they're just that sick and demented that they.
I think they're that sick and demented.
Either
Especially
way, it's
him.
It's bad.
I mean, at this point, we're talking like 5, 6 girls that he's done this to.
Yeah, he's got
and
a
this is
history
jumping
of
through
rape,
it.
So it probably has a lot to do with that. Also.
Oh yeah, he's raping all of them.
Oh
yeah, it's not
guaranteed.
talking about this. So what he was doing is he would grab them and he would start to strangle them. Then he would rape them. Then he would strangle them again. And then like one of them, he dumped her in a bathtub full of water, but she was still strangled before she was dumped in there. But he just left her body in there. and then he starts burning a few of them. It's like 2 or 3. He takes the bodies out, he burns them. A couple of them, he hid them. And then it was years before their bodies were found.
In my opinion, his punishment should be that he should be getting what he gave.
I'm sure that. Well, I actually was thinking that probably was the case, but I found out then while doing the reading that after he's convicted, he's in prison, he marries a former nurse. So, like, there's girls out there that are like, hey, you've raped and tortured and killed all of these girls. I'll marry you while you're in prison. It's just unbelievable to me. It really is.
In prison.
Can't match with anyone on Tinder. I guess you're my only option. Jesus Christ.
All right, so now in March of 93, Hawk's mother...
Wait, did nobody question around him that every girl was just dying around him?
So...
I'm sure they didn't know.
I'm sure at this point in time, he wasn't killing a ton of them that were, like, closely associated with him.
Yeah.
They were associated with other people, right? So, a couple of them were fairly closely associated with him. Like, this is actually... So, I don't know if I'm going to read it, but I'll just tell you. So, what ends up happening, he's a manager at Taco Bell, okay? So, a couple of the employees of his end up murdered. They then get tied back to this specific Taco Bell in the news, and then they dub him the Taco Bell Strangler. Before they ever know who this is. Because it's 2 murders. They then don't realize that he was the manager at this Taco Bell, and he had killed, like, people who frequented Taco Bell and, like, all this stuff. So a lot of his later victims are associated one way or another with the Taco Bell. But it's all sexually motivated. It's all strangulation, and it's really bad. So we'll see if that's where... but in March of 93, Hawk's mother, which that was the Shauna Hawk, and then he, remember, went to her funeral. So her name, the mom's name was Dee Sumter, and her grandmother, Judy Williams, founded Mothers of Murder Offspring, a Charlotte-based support group for parents of murdered children. So this was, from what I had seen and heard, this was his girlfriend's roommate. And he was closely involved with all of her family. They had no idea that he was the murderer. And then even when they were going on with this support group, and they helped tons of victims' families. Yeah. You know, just crazy. So in June of 93, he then kills his co-worker Audrey Spain. Her body was found 2 days later. August 10th of 93, he kills Valencia Jumper. This is when he sets her on fire to cover. And he also went to her funeral as well.
Burning holy fire.
That's not good. No, not good at all. That's a month later, he went to an apartment of Michelle Stinson, a struggling college student and a single mother of 2 sons. He strangled and stabbed her in front of the oldest son, which was not very old. He actually tried to strangle one of the children, but the both of the kids survived. It was just the mother that lived. 94, he kills Vanessa Little Mac in her apartment. She has 2 daughters, aged 7 and 4 months at the time of her death. Wow. Also in March of 94, he robbed and strangled Betty Bucum. Afterwards, he takes valuables from the house. Then he leaves the apartment with their car. He pawns everything except for the car, which he leaves at a shopping center.
He was probably thinking he was invincible at the time.
I'm thinking that he was thinking that. But, I mean, eventually, it's not a while. I mean, it's a while later. Because then he goes back to the apartment complex, knowing that Vernon Woods would be at work so he could murder his girlfriend, Brandy Henderson. He strangles Henderson. Oh, this is where he strangles the little toddler. He strangles her and her son, Therese, that night. Takes valuables from the apartment and left. The police beefed up patrols in the East Charlotte after 2 bodies of young black women were found at the Lake apartment complex. So even though Wallace is still sneaking around, robbing, strangling, and then he ends up stabbing Deborah Slaughter. Her body's found in March of 94. Finally, he's arrested March 13th of 94. For 12 hours, he confessed to the murders of 10 women in Charlotte.
Jeez.
He describes it all in detail, their appearances.
About 4 years, right? So he kills then he admitted to 12 women in a span of 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
for no reason,
dude,
just cowardice acts.
Oh yeah.
Biggest chicken shit I think we've read about in I don't know how long. I mean.
Oh yeah. I mean, he describes them in detail how he raped them, robbed them, killed them, and all about his drugs, everything else. Everybody in Charlotte is upset. They're angry with the law enforcement. How did they let this get out? How did they let it go on for so long?
Yeah, I mean,
all kinds of different
first
things.
Rape accusation. I mean,
right.
If you would have stopped him there, you could have saved.
That was in South Carolina.
You could have saved 11 lives.
Right. Oh, I know. Well, it would have been 10.
Many kids would have had a mom.
I don't think he ever got charged with the first one.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he never got charged with the rape attempt. Yeah.
Nuts.
So
failed law enforcement on that one.
I know.
But back then, I mean,
I know
it was so much harder so much more difficult to.
Well, because you didn't have DNA, you didn't have video cameras, you didn't have a lot of stuff.
I mean, back in the 90s, that was when it was first starting to become a thing, wasn't it?
No, it was 2000s.
Or was it more 2000s?
For DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2000s. One of the cases I want to talk about in the future, the Beatrice 6 is one that's absolutely insane. But that one is finally solved because of DNA. But that doesn't happen until the 2000s.
I'm actually thinking next week we should do the Murdaugh. The ones that are all over the news right now.
Yeah, I just watched that documentary.
Because it's live and it's going on right now. People want to hear about it, I think.
Right.
I
think we should definitely talk about Murdaugh.
We should both research that and go after it.
I watched all the documents and documentaries and stuff. Yeah, I have watched
I didn't even realize they had documentaries going like crazy already on it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. I think the dude, it was more of an opiate thing for him. Wasn't he on all kinds of
well, they
opiate narcotics and stuff like that per day? And
they say that he had a really bad prescription, but he was also an attorney.
What I hear.
What's that?
I said a massive.
That's what they're saying. That's what they claim. Right.
I mean, excuses are excuses. Either you're a monster or you're not. But
right. And this guy, the Murdaugh. I mean, we could go into that would be a great one for a couple of weeks. But
we'll pause it. But I definitely say we get into it. I think that's the next one we do.
Yeah. No, and I think that Jacob can be there with us on that one.
Yeah.
And then we all three watch the documentaries, and then we can just come in. We can tell the story, and then we can
three different points of view on
right.
On the same
yeah,
matter.
I think that we do that. That'll be a little bit of a different podcast than what we've typically done too. So I think that'll be good.
I think we should do that.
We all watched 3 different documentaries.
No, we watched the same one.
Same,
three
same
different
documentary.
You watch OJ. You watch.
Oh,
Murdaugh.
Did you say Murdaugh's? I watched OJ, but I don't believe anything about that one.
No, we watched the same crime, just in different documentaries.
Just watch different documentaries, which I've already watched a couple different ones. Because there's a is it 2020 about it? The 2020 one is awesome.
See, I didn't know it was going. I've heard the name Murdaugh, but I didn't really know what it was until recently, since the verdict. I had no idea. I was kind of a ghost.
So when you watch the 2020 version of it, you get the murders, what he was on trial for, and that was the murder of his son and his wife.
Yeah.
Right, and then they go into the trial with the verdict. If you watch on Netflix about Murdaugh, that's about the boat wreck, what his son was charged with.
Yeah.
And that is a crazy story, and that's told by all of the people that were there. So all of the other people that were in the boat tell the story about what happened, and then they tell briefly about the murders, and you're like, oh my God, that's crazy.
I might take a break from my Game of Thrones binging I've been doing here this week and watch that. I've got myself.
It's a lot.
I think in the last 4 or 5 weeks. Me and Jacqueline started Game of Thrones, and now we're up to, I think we're right at season 6 is where we're about to start.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've been just hammering
Well,
through
then you
them,
just knock that
into
out.
it.
So,
I had to force her to get into it. Like, she was not having it the first few episodes. She's like, well, the brother and the sister are doing it, and this and that and that. I'm like, look, I promise it gets good. Just give it some freaking time. But it took me like 6 episodes to really get her into it. Now she just won't. I'm tired of yawning. She's like, ooh, one more.
oh,
Yeah,
dude, that's how I was when I watched it. It was like,
love it.
it's 2 a.m. I got to get up in 3 hours. We got to, oh my God, it was.
I just didn't know if it was going to be. So when I read it up to like the 3rd. So you got Tyrion killing his dad. You got Joffrey dying and choking to death. All that stuff happening right then and there. I thought that there's no way you could shock me more than that. I thought that was the peak of it. And so far, nothing's really happened that was that big, but a lot of things that have happened that were really good that kept me into it. But I'm assuming some more crazy stuff's about to start happening.
It gets crazy. It's a great series.
Yeah. All right, sorry. Let's get back on
All
the
right.
story.
So while he's on death row, he ends up getting sentenced. There's a bunch of stuff in there about what happens, and they have FBI serial murder profilers in there, and they talk to him, and they do all kinds of stuff, and then it goes to trial. He's convicted of murder. Boom. Now he's on death row. He's sentenced to death for like 9 of the murders. So he's sentenced to death like 9 times. And this is in like 95, 97, something like that. Now in it was 97, sorry. So he's sentenced to death in 97. So in 98, he marries a former prison nurse, Rebecca Torrijos, in a ceremony next to the execution chamber where he's been sentenced to die.
When you say former nurse, I'm assuming she was there at the prison with him for a while.
You know what? I don't know that, but that's also what I assume.
Fairly
I would say it's a good assessment. Yeah. So he's appealed it, stating confessions were coerced and his constitutional rights were violated. This and that. But in 2005, they reject his last appeal, and they're like, sentenced to death, dude. But he's never been. He's just been. It's never been carried out
for almost 20 years, pretty much.
Yeah, and they have no like day in sight, so they can't get the.
For over 20 years.
Yeah, they keep prolonging like
Carolina,
in North Carolina.
North Carolina is what you're. Yeah, this is all in North Carolina.
So it's all in North Carolina.
Very red state, right?
What's that?
Very red state, right?
I'm not 100% sure.
I always thought the Carolinas were red.
Well,
it's kind of surprising to see someone be on death row that long and not get executed in a red state. If I'm not mistaken.
Right, but I'm not 100% sure.
If it was Texas, he'd have been dead.
Right, Texas is a little bit different, but
you kill someone,
nobody,
kill you back.
But nobody right now, for a while, they haven't been able to get the cocktail to be able to sentence anybody. It's very, very, very expensive to make. So there's nobody making it, and it's such a controversial subject.
I'd be okay with what's that? The gun one.
Oh, the firing squad.
Firing squad, yeah. Firing squad, hanging. I mean, if you're raping women like that,
right?
Leaving kids motherless and all that stuff. I mean,
right. You know, we talked about that one. It was the female down in Missouri where she cut the baby out of the mother,
I remember that.
Killed the mother, and then she like drives back, tells everybody, pretended like she had left to have the baby, and she was killed. She was sentenced to death, and she was the very first female, like since COVID, that was they carried out the execution.
Yeah,
and
that's some
100%. I mean, I agree with it in those circumstances. I absolutely do. This guy sits there and tells about how he raped, murdered, and tortured I was saying those 3 things, but he does this to like 10, 11 women. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're good to go, dude.
You did your deal. I mean, there's no like, oh, I was in a bad state of my mind. No, that was a bad life. I mean, you're talking about several years.
Yeah, but
with no remorse.
Number one. I mean, he soiled the Taco Bell name.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
Do it at a fucking. Don't do it at all, obviously. But if you're going to, McDonald's or Wendy's.
Right.
I mean,
you're not going to hurt McDonald's
name. Don't come in our
with that.
Taco Bell heaven and and bring your nastiness to it.
I know. It's ridiculous.
It's like saying the Lord's name in vain in church.
I know.
You know?
I agree.
Don't.
Pretty sure I've done that before.
Have you?
When does that ever happen? That's never happened.
No, don't say that. You don't do that.
do not say that.
Let's all go to Taco Bell and say a prayer.
Remember the song God in Country Music? Just God in Taco Bell.
So,
that's for all
I
the
don't know.
straight fans out there.
But I would, I guess, like if you, it was a pretty big insult to Taco Bell to ever put that in there.
Yeah.
But it's also an insult to this guy. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
you get the fast food name serial killer. You don't, like, you're out there, you're doing all this stuff. I mean, he's just working his tail off to try to, he doesn't get the BTK. He doesn't get the,
I hope when he gets to hell that every day he served Taco Bell for fucking lunch and it's the shit refried beans. They got the shit food.
Like the refried beans that have been sitting there for 4 hours.
They've been sitting there for a while. They haven't changed them out yet. You're like, God damn it. I'm still happy I came though. But that sucked. Because you're still happy because you know that you have tomorrow to try again. I hope that's what he does, and every day is the same refried beans. Cheese just a little burnt. They're out of mild sauce. I hope he orders no onions and they pack that motherfucker full. Piece of shit.
Yeah. No,
Coward.
I know, it's fucking awful.
I hate that.
And how, I really truly don't understand. He didn't know this gal at all before he gets sentenced to fucking death in prison. And then before they carry it out, he's allowed to marry somebody? Are you shitting me?
Makes no sense. And how, may God have mercy on this woman's soul, but how do you let him explain to you all these murders?
I know.
All these rapes, and you find a way to justify it, and
I know. I don't get it, man. It's crazy, but, people do people.
Makes no sense to me at all.
No, it doesn't me either. But it happened. We didn't do it. They did it. We're just talking about it over here. So, anyway, that's all I got for Taco Bell Strangler. And oddly enough, I tried looking up his name and I couldn't find nothing under his name. Then I Googled Taco Bell Strangler, and then it was just like everywhere associates his name with it and everything. So I'm like, oh, I guess.
Taco Bell Strangler. God damn it, it's not working. Strangler. There's too many of them. Taco Bell. Quesadilla. Chicken. Yeah, okay, I'm going. What was I doing again?
What was I doing?
Ooh, I don't care. Damn, I was saying all that. My mouth's getting watery and my pants are getting tighter. Hot damn. Give me a bean burrito. Ugh, tissue, please. I think it's stat on both.
All right.
It was good for me. Was it good for you? Sir, please pull forward.
Oh, that's great. Oh, did you get it over there?
Alrighty.
Messing with it all that time, and then I finally was going to help you here?
Oh, no, I did the knot. I did the knot.
Oh, you did it? Okay.
There was a knot, right down here, and it was bothering me the entire time.
Well, you got it out of there. Are you singing over there now?
I was trying to
Oh,
Reba.
That's what he was saying the entire time.
He did.
I was
He
trying
said
to
it a
roll
couple
my
of
R's,
times.
okay? Alright? You think just because you got a mustache and you're tan and you can roll your R's, you're better than me?
That's what I believe, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, it might be true. But I got my driver's license and I can go to Taco Bell right now.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Again, tune in next time because we may or may not have a guest.
Yep.
We'll have to see if we allow Kevin Hart or not. But
Yeah,
definitely
maybe.
maybe Sexy Mexi.
Tell you what I will do though. I say next week let's do something to post on there. I'd like to get some people involved. Let's do a deal where you comment a suggestion of a podcast episode you want us to do, and your name. You'll go into a drawing, and I'll give you a $50 Taco Bell gift card. We'll mail it to you. Okay? Taco Bell, you want to sponsor this? Give me, Jamie, and Jacob here a year's worth of Taco Bell. That'd be fucking great.
I'd say.
And Jergens, while we're talking about it,
Lifetime or
Jergens, give me some lotion. 'Cause they go hand in hand. Hand in hand. Alright? But I'm saying, $50 gift card, Taco Bell. We need suggestions. If your name gets pulled out, we'll do an episode of your suggestion, and you get a gift card. What do you think of that?
Absolutely. Where are they commenting?
They're commenting on the post of this podcast when we post it.
When we post it on our social media? So any of our social media?
Everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Okay.
You gotta like it. You gotta share it. You gotta post your suggestion.
Okay. And then we're giving away a
$50
$50
gift card for T-Bell.
T-Bell gift card.
Yep.
All right.
Nothing wrong with that, huh?
No, that sounds great. I think I'm going to comment.
Yeah. Right? Me too.
We're not eligible. Us three are not eligible.
You're gonna get a used $50 gift card with $3 left and 11 cents. And a picture of my fat ass with refried beans on it, smeared on my face. And a tissue stuck to my hip.
Hey, it'll still be a $50 gift card. I don't care if it's mostly used.
Whatever's left is left, you know?
You can buy a decent 5-layer burrito on it, but still one. You get one free one. Everybody gets one.
Goddamn right. You get a couple tacos for that.
All right, guys. Remember, check us out all there. You want to get into this drawing? Go do what Seth just said to do. All right?
All of it.
All of it. Not part of it. All of it.
Like it, share it, post it. Twist
like
it,
share
turn
it,
it,
post
bop it.
Oh, awesome. All right. Thank you, guys. See you next week.
Till next time.
Till next time.